Hello, and welcome to FODES, the Future of Design and Engineering Software podcast. My name is Rupinder Tara. On this show, we will have guests that will discuss tools and technology that engineers will find interesting and useful. Joining me today is Dr. Chris Parkinson, president of Vuzix, a supplier of AI-powered smart glasses, advanced waveguides, and augmented reality technologies for defense and enterprise applications. Dr. Parkinson was co-founder and CTO and CEO at RealWear, a competitor to Vuzix. He has 30 years of experience in this industry. You might say he's a visionary in an industry that's all about vision. Where are you?
I'm in Eastern Washington State.
Ah, I see. I see. Eastern Washington State. Okay, so that's in the High Plateau area?
So it is desert. It's in the rain shadow behind Seattle, 200 miles away from Seattle. So it's dry,
okay.
desert-like.
Okay. What made you live there?
In fact, I've got the sun. Hold on, the sun is coming down. There we go. Let's try that. A bit better. All right. There's a Department of Energy National Laboratory up here called the Hanford Works, and I came out to do a postdoc there many, many years ago.
Okay. Oh, and you loved it.
I did. I met my wife to be, and she's a local girl, so we're pretty much based over here now.
Oh, I see. You're trapped by the local girl, as it were.
Well, I like to think of it as the American dream. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. Very good. So very curious to learn, as you know, as this podcast is called The Future of Design and Engineering Software, we also add to that hardware as well. But I've got to tell you, what you're working on is one of my wishes that I hope to see sometime before I retire at least, right? Smart glasses. They're one of those things that's been promised to me for years, like the flying car, like the tricorder in Star Trek, or Dick Tracy's watch. I believe I have the Dick Tracy watch.
You've got that one, yes, that's nailed.
And the tricorder is close to an iPhone.
Yeah.
Right? But I don't have my flying car or my smart glasses. So what can
Well,
you
they're
do?
coming. You see, they're here.
There
They're coming.
there you go. There you go. All right. Is that a working model, or how
Yep,
close
that's
are
a
you?
working device. Yep.
Is it?
So display and voice, you drive it, and yeah, it's closer than you think, this technology.
Is that right?
I think so. That's what we'll find out, right?
Okay. Now, are you going to be able to show that? I don't know how you could show that to me. If,
Yeah, because what I'm showing you there represent products that have been on sale at Vuzix for a little while. So I'm not showing you any of the secret R&D.
Okay.
I've got lots of that, but that's behind the camera, not in front of the camera.
I see. I see. Okay. So tell me how it works and what does it do?
Where do you want to start on this little journey?
Okay. Well. Okay. So here's maybe with my wishes, right? Like I want to wear something on my face, right, which I can get all the information that I would ordinarily, well, like right now, I want it to be filming, like the last few seconds, just so I could play them back in case I miss it. So like that, or show me my calendar appointments on the screen. So that sort of thing, information right here, right on my head. I don't have to look at my wrist. I don't have to look at my phone. It's like always there. Like when I go bike riding, I want it to be that information to be visible rather than looking down, which is rather dangerous, right? I want it to be projected into my lenses. Huh? Are you able to do that?
I think you can do that today, actually. Yes. So and even if you look at what Zuckerberg has announced this week, that is all going to allow you to do that sort of thing. So it's the concept of having a display built into glasses. The display type is called a waveguide. So you inject the RGB color on one side of the glasses, it bounces inside the internal reflection of the glass, and then turns out and faces and injects into your eye.
Okay.
That means you can see through the thing when it's not projecting. When it's projecting, you get a screen in front of your eye.
What you held up, Chris, that was looked very compact.
Yeah,
actually.
this is typical. This is as about as lightweight as it gets. Very simple. If you look on the Vuzix website, this is known as the Z100 device. It's
Mhm.
basically a Bluetooth powered projector in here, projects into the screen. That's Bluetooth to your smartphone, where all the content comes from your smartphone. And
Okay.
over here, you have a tiny battery. That's it. The whole thing just works in ways. And this one, you can sort of see a blue tint here, I think, on the camera. So you've got one display that lights up.
Actually, it doesn't look bad on you.
So this represents one end of the spectrum where it's like it's a computer. In this case, this is a monitor on your head, a monitor with speakers. So now
Yeah.
it's got to get the data and the content from somewhere, and that's where maybe your smartphone comes into it. They pair together. This is a very
Right.
powerful device.
Right.
And so you've
That
got that
that's
end of the spectrum where it's all the processing's here, and this is just a lightweight thing.
okay.
Then you go a bit crazier, a bit heavier, and you say, I
Yeah.
don't want the smartphone. I want the smartphone to be in here completely. So this is a pair of glasses that are known as the Ultralight Pro, which are coming from Vuzix. This is like a advanced prototype product. This has two displays with full color, and it has a compute engine here running a full Android operating system.
I
But
see.
that requires more power, requires more battery life at the back, and requires a little bigger form factor.
Uh-huh.
So that shows you the gamut of the technology space today. Super lightweight, it's brain dead as a monitor. This one is
Right.
super smart and does everything you want.
Right. The
And I
batteries
think the industry is trying to figure out where to go with that, how to make the super smart one be less weighty, less heavy.
Yes, yes. It's all about miniaturization because I know there's headsets, AR, VR headsets, for example, that have all that information visible with very good graphics, but nobody wants to wear them for long, certainly not all the
Yeah.
time, right? So the idea, miniaturization, of course, is the key here. What have you done with your designs, not just Vuzix, but your previous company, Realware, that
Yes.
made it more acceptable, shall we say, than Google Glass?
I think we broke a lot of ground there. And in fact, Vuzix has run a parallel path with RealWare. We've sort of been head and head for years doing the same thing. We're basically bringing technology that is fieldable to the enterprise. Now, the enterprise is a lot more forgiving in some respects here and a lot less forgiving. It's more forgiving because in the enterprise, we need to deliver a tool that does a job. And that tool can be a little bit bigger, maybe a little bit heavier, and more robust than one a consumer would accept. So a consumer wants the glasses like you're wearing today. And
Mhm.
anything that weighs anything above that or gets in the way doesn't look as cool, they're not going to like it. The
Yeah,
enterprise, on the other hand, people are already wearing high vis jackets, they're wearing things around their belt. It's just a tool. And when you
right,
consider it as a tool, you can get away with a lot more. So
right.
here's a typical sort of Vuzix version of the enterprise headset that clips onto a safety hat or baseball cap, and it gives you a display. And it's designed in a different ways there now over the glasses. Here it's designed to get out of the way when you don't need it, and it's in the way when you do need it. It's
Mhm.
designed to last all day long for like a full working shift. So different design constraints. But what it's
Yeah,
allowed the companies to do is to work on all the other facets, not just the display and the weight, but the user interface, the control, the voice recognition, using it to drive, making it drive, and the application stack around it. And so I think over the years, the enterprise has now come to accept that this is a form factor that they will adopt in the future. It's
mhm.
gone from, well, this is a bit crazy to, oh, this is now becoming standard. They're seeing enough of these around there. They like glasses, but they also understand the ruggedness required. For example, if I take these lightweight glasses into a warehouse, they'll get destroyed and broken immediately. Stuff needs to be rough and it needs to be tough. So here you
Yeah,
have a smart
right.
glass designed for warehousing, where people bash it all day long just because there's nothing else to do. Different
Yeah,
design constraints. So I think the bottom line is all these devices are fit for purpose. You have to
Didn't
design it
realize that
for.
I didn't realize that headwear in warehouses was that prone to bashing. That must mean their heads are getting bashed too, right?
Well, no, I think it because you've got people. Again, you look at the users. If you're a consumer buying Apple glasses, you're spending $2,000. You're going down to the optician and have them all dialed in and nice and neat. You're going to take care of them.
Right.
When you're a warehouse picker, you're paid sort of a lowest minimum wage to go in and pick for a few hours, and then you're done. It's just a piece of equipment. It's a hammer. You just drop it, you throw it around, you put it down when you finish with it. You don't care and love it. So it's got to put up with a lot more abuse.
I remember the Google Glass. There was a lot of issues. I don't think that Google anticipated them. One was the fact that people rejected and were openly hostile to the idea of being recorded against their wishes. What have you done about that? Have you considered that as a...
Again, that hostility came because people were walking into bars and pubs and doing that. You took it into the consumer world, and the consumers are not ready for this. Even though everyone's got their phone, and the moment anything happens, everyone whips out their phone and records everything. But different matter. The point is, the backlash came. In the enterprise world, not an issue. This is a tool. And you go out there and you do your job, and it's you're not really recording people, you're recording problems and so on. But again, because it's a tool, we don't have that same backlash.
Right.
And so where Vuzix plays today is that we've got two parts of the company. One is making these enterprise products, and the other is making the waveguides and the optical engine that go into other products, such as consumer glasses. So there's a whole slew of companies out there betting that smart glasses are going to take over from the smartphone eventually, and that means billions of devices. So you've got all the big manufacturers. Vuzix works with Quanta, which is a massive manufacturer in Taiwan, who are working with Vuzix to get ready to build out millions of these things in volume. And that's half of the company that Vuzix is all around supplying those, and they'll supply to consumer at that point. But Vuzix itself won't be making the consumer product. Whereas the enterprise division is all about making a product and a solution set and selling that.
I see. But the parts might be used in a consumer product.
Yes,
the
correct.
waveguide. Okay.
Yeah.
Is the waveguide would you explain what a waveguide is?
Yeah.
Okay.
As it happens, I happen to have one here. So here's a lens, right? So if I start from the beginning, this is a traditional optic and lens system. So typically you have a small tiny TV in here, a red, green, blue panel emitting color, and it's about a quarter of an inch diagonal. It's a tiny thing, and it bounces that display through, in this case, a prism, optical prism, and then down there, and you get another magnifying prism in front of it. So when you look at this thing, it looks like you've got a display that's yay big in front of your eye. That's the magic. That's the traditional way of doing it. Now comes along waveguide. Here's a waveguide, a typical lens, and you take the same red, green, blue panel and you inject it into the top here, and the red, green, blue goes, it bounces inside the glass. You see it's pretty thin. It goes bum, 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 bounces diagonally down there, and then there is if I get the angle right, see the little blue square?
I do.
That blue square is the exit of the light wave. So it bounces down to there and then bounces right into the eye, and it spans, and it gives me a bigger view when I want it. But if you notice, generally, if you get the right angle, it's see-through. So if I turn it off and don't have a display, I'm just looking through and there's no problem. And when I will put the display on, it's up there. And you can make that display opaque or transparent or somewhere in between and blend it with the background. So that's what the waveguide does. So it's a remarkable technology that it just makes the lens structure disappear.
It does. So you don't need a lens. You're actually literally guiding the light into the screen. The screen
That's
being
right. And
lens.
exactly right. And these are made of some glass or plastic, and so they allow you to build out regular glasses that. Here's regular glasses now, and the difference is you've now got an extra lump on the side, which is where the red, green, blue projector sits to inject that display in.
Would you say Vuzix waveguides are state of the art?
Yes, completely.
Okay.
Both in, yeah, they are. And I'll tell you why. There's quite a few companies have been showing off waveguides recently. And it's one thing to show them off and build a few of them, but it's another thing to be able to mass produce in volume and at low cost. And that's what Vuzix excels at.
Now, why is that? Is it because the material that's guiding the wave is very must be very quality controlled?
Yeah, essentially, I mean, so a light so waveguide is basically a bunch of light pipes there that are guiding the photons down. And so how you make that, some people are stamping them into glass, stamping a pattern there into some etching. And it's all about getting the right technique that does scale up in volume. And so
We're talking nanoscale, correct?
yes, and Vuzix have been very busy over the years building this out. Plus, they can do this in the USA, which makes them fairly unique in the fact they're manufactured in the US.
That's a big thing these days.
It is a huge thing at the moment, yes.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, all right. So that's a waveguide. Would you say that's the, how should I say, limiting factor in, or critical factor at least in?
It was. I mean,
Yeah.
like 10 years ago, they don't really exist, and you have this. You can't make glasses with this very well. So this is a huge step forward to getting
Yeah.
more general acceptance. So now that pushes the technology barrier to the next thing. The next thing is the compute engine and the power required. So the power is given to you by batteries. The more batteries you have, the heavier the glasses get. And there's a physical limit to how much weight a person is going to put up with in a pair of
Yeah.
glasses. Typically, it's around the, I think, I'm not sure if there's an official agreement, but we work towards less than 50 grams of weight on the bridge of the nose. After that, you start to feel it. And it's okay for a little, maybe an hour or two, but for extended periods, it's not comfortable.
You're designing for all day wear or 8 hour,
Well,
one shift wear?
different. That's different. Yeah, again, it depends on the target. A lot of this guy here is an all-day shift wearing device. It comes with a nice strap on the top, and it's comfy, and it wears like that. That's actually, it looks heavy and a bit rugged, but the way the weight's distributed, you don't feel it, and you can get rid of it and get rid of the display, and it's all good.
Yeah.
In the smart glasses, if I want to wear all day long, I can. These will do all day long, but they're not going to do much for me. This is where we put we put the computational power onto the smartphone. So it'll do a little few things like show me what I think a common use case is transcription. So if you're talking, I can actually write down there what you're saying in text. All that is happening on the phone, and this is just sending up a few display messages. That will run all day long in this form factor. But the moment I want to do all the compute on my head, then we're running into problems, especially if you want to do video, live streaming video or watching videos on YouTube. That's when my battery is going to run down a little bit more quickly. And to add an all-day battery now means more weight. So you've got choices. You either put the weight on the head and people complain that it's a heavier headset, or you put the battery in a pocket and you have a cable running up here, but then people complain that they've got a cable hanging off their head. That's the technology. That's one of the barriers that we're up to right now.
Right. I like the idea of having most of the power right in your pocket and your phone, and then just the display as much as possible, the information being displayed on right where you want it, right?
That's exactly right. So again, use cases. In my enterprise space, cables are not very good. They're frowned upon because they become snag hazards, tangle hazards. But in an enterprise case, I mean, in a consumer, you don't have to think long back to before the Apple AirPods came around. What did we all have? We had earpieces with a VR cable running down to the phone in our pocket, and that was the norm.
Right. And that was cool for a while.
You could do that for a while, right? Whilst the technology is getting ready, you could do that as well and have the power down there. So people are thinking about doing that. Some people want it, some don't.
Right. So really when you're just moving pixels to
Mhm.
from your phone to your glasses. That's not too much effort, too much work. Now, am I limited though? Because I have a beautiful display on this phone.
Mhm.
What kind of display do I have on
Wow.
glasses?
Um, different displays, different costs, different models. But so the high-end displays here, this represents the latest. This is full color binocular. So let me start up. This one is monocular, so it's for one eye only. Half the cost, half the power, and
Okay.
everyone has a dominant eye. About 70% of the population are right eye dominant. They prefer their right eye for reading, and 30% are left eye. So one argument says, let me just feed your dominant eye with information. And that allows me to cut down on the cost. And if you look at what Meta has announced last week, they have a system that is just one display on the right-hand side for the right eye dominant people. So they're trying it out. If you want to go with a full hog, though, you go with two displays, left and right, and they merge together to give you a bigger 3D effect floating in front of you, a bit like the VR headsets you talked about earlier. So here I've got dual color, full color, and it's in 3D. The resolution at the moment is nowhere near as high as what you're looking at. Maybe we're looking at 720p type of resolution, and maybe less than that.
But it's
That's
only
again where all the text
it's
coming
only
from.
in the little blue rectangle, correct? It's not the
Yeah,
whole.
it's a
Okay.
blue. That's right. So it looks like the blue rectangle here, but when you look at this, it fills your frame. So it's about um, it's it's almost like looking at a full laptop monitor at arm's length.
I see. Okay. But it's 720 pixel
Yeah,
resolution.
they look pretty nice when you wear them. They're very
Okay.
compelling.
Right.
So it's great. You can have the camera, for example, have a live camera view there. So you can actually, you have a camera on the headset typically, and this allows you to preview what you're looking at before snapshotting it or zoom in, for example. So you can see
Yeah.
live what's happening.
Indulge me for a second. I've often thought like we're wasting all these pixels and all this granularity on images because our eye is only looking at one little thing. And if I'm looking at my room, I'm just looking at one little part of my room. The rest of it can be quite blurry. But to make an image that sensitive, that particular to what you're actually looking at, that would take eye tracking. And I don't think the technology is there yet for that, right?
It is there. I've seen it. It's called foveated rendering.
Okay.
So basically, we look at where your eye's looking and just render that in detail, and the rest of
Right.
them blur or less detail. So it is happening on different headsets. That's a bigger technology. There were headsets you may remember from HoloLens and from Magic Leap. They are much bigger compute devices. They're bigger, and they were able to start doing that, and they do it to try to conserve the power.
I see. Yes, yes. You're not refreshing every pixel across 4K per eye. It's
That's
like,
exactly right. Yeah.
yeah. Okay. So 720 per one eye, mostly the right eye. Can it be switched, or do you have to buy right hand or left hand glasses?
It depends. In this one, it's right eye only. The same with the Meta
You don't wear it
glasses.
upside down. In other
No,
words.
unfortunately, you can't. No, like in these guys, you can. The big industrial ones, you can flip them over
Oh,
and do
okay.
that.
Okay.
But that's why the dual glasses, the dual screen works. This is really the future. But the
Okay.
reason people like Meta have not gone with dual screen, my speculation, not fact, is that it's cost. These displays are currently costing a lot of money. So let's just put one in for now and see how the world goes. And then we'll put two in later.
I see. Very good. Very good. Okay. So so you don't wear ordinary glasses, but would they work for people or that have glasses or?
Yes and no. The answer is they are like any other glasses. They have a fixed focal length on them. And if you need a prescription for normal reading, you will need to add a prescription to these glasses as well. So
I see.
most of the glasses vendors, Vuzix included, have the ability to take clip-in lenses that clip inside here and just will put your prescription optics there. So if you're +2 in one eye and a +1 in the other, you get the +2 +1 clip in. It just clips in as a thin layer and becomes part of the glasses, and then you're
I see.
back and running.
That difference in curvature on both surfaces, that doesn't affect the waveguide, the image? on the lens?
It depends where you put the. If you put the prescription on the outside or inside, it will or won't.
Oh, I see. So preferably,
But
I'm guessing.
blended optics, blended focals are going to be still a bit of an issue here.
I see. I see. Okay. Okay. Very good. Okay. So I'm going to get you to put it on so you have a good shot. Maybe you could.
Okay, we can put the super
You can
fancy one, the bigger ones.
That's good. Now hold that pose. Very good. All right. I don't know which one I'll use yet, but try
And
the
how
other
can
one.
you-
I like the.
Got a
I like
nice
the.
pair of red, some smaller red ones if you like. How about that? They're the
Okay.
lighter weight ones.
That's good. All right. Very good. Good modeling. All right. Now, and what was it? And the first one that we saw, the bluish.
Yeah,
Bluish. Okay.
that's not, these ones here. So these are, let's say they're the smaller one. So these are
Those are my favorite. Hold
okay.
that pose. Okay. Very good. Excellent.
And
Thank
these
you.
are the Z100 devices.
That's right. You can learn to talk American.
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
How
Which
long have
what
you
audience are we going to here? American?
American?
Okay,
Yes.
I'm going to use the word color without a U in it then from now on.
That's right. How long have you been in the US? Since you moved, since you were in college.
Yes, without revealing my age, about nearly 30 years now.
30 years. Okay. All
I've
right.
adapted the accent pretty well, haven't I?
I can tell you're not from around
This
here.
is how they all speak in Eastern Europe. I mean, sorry, Eastern
They do.
Washington.
They do because they've learned from British tutors. And, yeah, no, that's true. I came here many more years ago,
Mhm.
60 years ago, almost 60 years ago, and I was young enough to lose the accent entirely.
Okay.
Yeah.
And where did you come from?
England initially.
Oh,
Sorry, India initially, then England, and
yeah.
then they went to the US. So,
Okay.
yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah, look, this technology space is super exciting. I mean, it's wonderful. So for me, the opportunity, because I've just joined Vuzix, right, in the last few weeks,
Yeah.
to be able to build out products is one thing, but the core technology that goes into it, these waveguides, to now have access to the company that's inventing those and delivering them means I can deliver. We've got the full soup to nuts solution set here, which is a really wonderful opportunity to sort of get involved at every level and deliver world-class solutions. So we shall see that coming, and I'm very excited for it.
That was quite the press release announcing you're coming to Vuzix was quite, how should I say, very flattering.
Well, I know.
I think they expect the world of you after all your success at RealWear.
Right, yes, we'll see that. It doesn't happen overnight, but we'll get there.
No,
I'm
there's
pretty
quite a
buzzed
bit
for it.
of technology to tame here still, right? But I have every hope and every good wishes for Vuzix to make the next one, and I will be in line to buy one.
Excellent,
Count
very
on
good.
it. All right, very good. Well, it's good, great having you. Did I miss anything? I'm sorry. Did you need
No, I
to
think
do anything else?
that's fine.
Yeah.
I think we've covered all the stuff to cover. Such is a great place to be right now. And,
Yeah.
oh, the other thing to add to this is
Uh-huh.
you did ask, you talked about Google Glass years ago. So
Yeah.
two things have happened. We haven't really touched on it. The first is obviously the miniaturization of the tech. The waveguides have brought this wonderful form factor down. But the other thing that's happened is AI, right? And AI, great AIs everywhere. What
Yeah.
AI brings to these devices is a natural language interface. The ability, like your Amazon Alexa, to be able to talk to the glasses now and say, hey, show me this, show me that. How do I get to there? That for years has been really difficult to get an interactive user experience on smart glasses the old-fashioned way, without AI, without a
I'm
natural
glad you
language.
brought that up because no conversation these days is complete without AI. And yeah, so what does a person to do? Then you have to have a microphone. You have to have
These
right?
glasses all have microphones built into them. And so
Okay.
now
So
you can
then,
just, with a
what's the
connection,
problem? What's the challenge then? Putting the microprocessor in there to handle a neural microprocessor in there to handle the AI?
yeah, that's right. You need something. I mean, really, the AI, people talk about edge AI, AI on the edge. These large language models really are best suited to running in the cloud. You can
Hmm.
squeeze them down into these little processes, but they're not as good. And expectations are rising daily on how good they should be. And if I give
Yeah.
the user a cut down version of that, they won't be happy. So bottom line is you really should be using these cloud-based things, but then that means you need a connection. You need connectivity all the time.
Hmm.
And so again, that's the next challenge in a lot of this. And in my favorite areas of enterprise, there are places where there is no connectivity. There's many places where there's no connectivity.
There
So
are
what
people.
does one do there? So you can't be reliant on needing a connection. So yes, it's great to think about now hybrid AI, where some of it's running locally, some of it's running in the cloud. And so there's all these different techniques that's running with. But the AI is an essential part of the adoption of these devices.
I'm glad to hear you say that. It's not normal for a techie to even admit that the internet isn't everywhere, because every product now relies on it and relies on the cloud. I attribute that to you being out in Eastern Washington, and maybe it is
Yeah,
fine.
well, I learned many years ago when I went driving through Oregon. I thought I'll just follow the maps on my phone, and
Yeah,
it suddenly stopped working. I'm like, oh no, I wish I had a whole paper map with me.
right.
But even in industry, in warehouses, there's corners where the Wi-Fi is not there, and there's metal buildings that have no connection. So it's actually a lot more prevalent than you think.
It is quite a bit not there and oftentimes when you really need it. It's not there when I travel sometimes. Most of half the
Yeah.
time on airplanes, it's not there. So it's just not reliable enough to be broad scale. So we agree on that subject, no question. So yeah, this is good. So that's the challenge. Isn't it isn't it a little frustrating just when you thought you might have these glasses for everyone, and everyone is now saying, oh, well, where's the AI in there?
Well, I guess the answer is to get Elon Musk and get a Starlink on my backpack, right? Miniaturize that next.
Yes, miniaturize. All right. Well, you've got your work cut out for you. There's a lot of things that are still way too big now to,
Yeah.
mind-bogglingly big right now that you need to condense down to a small size. Edge computers, for example, that's like, I've seen neural network chips.
Mhm.
They're not
Yeah.
small.
So I
And
think
there's,
so for us, a lot of the approach might not be to solve everything at once, but
yeah,
if you think about if I have edge AI of some sort, if I can do stuff locally or offline, it may not be as good as I'd expect when I've got a cloud connection, but it might be enough to get me through. And then the moment I get back into civilization and sync up, then I can use the cloud to maybe redo what I've done already locally or enhance it. So it's almost like the sync and forward metaphor. Let's do a bit of do as much as we can to keep you going, and then
all
do it
right, very
properly.
good. Very good. And on that note, I'll end it. I thank you very much for being on our show and showing me and giving me hope that this is there is actually stuff out there that I've been longing for all this time. It's actually out there. I just need to get
Be,
out more, I guess, and see it. So,
be careful for what you wish for. You know, we may have an army of zombies walking around looking at their glasses now instead of their phones. So
oh yeah, that's true. It could happen, but that might it's along with great power, right?
yes, that's right. Indeed.
That's right.
But until
All
then,
right.
all right. Well, thank you for your
Yes.
time today.
Thank you very much. Thanks for being on, and I hope to see you again.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to FODES, the Future of Design and Engineering Software show, brought to you by Eng Technica. I hope you have learned of a new application or technology that will help you with your job. If you have an application you think would be of interest to other engineers, please let me know by emailing me at rupinder@engtechnica.com or message me on LinkedIn.